Hi, welcome back to Close to Home here in Southington, Connecticut for the October Block of the Month Saturday Sampler. This month we're going to be working with 3 different units. The first unit we're going to go over is the Tri-Rex tool that makes a triangle in a square. The second is the strip sets that we're going to be using on the sides. And the last unit we're going to be going over is the snowball unit. And that is using the Creative Grids folded corner clipper, which we've done in the past. So the cutting for this month's block, the large piece of light gray, you're going to cut actually 6 strips at 1.5 each. The first 4 strips are going to be cut 6.5 by 1.5, so you'll get 2 on each strip. And then the last 2 strips at 1.5, you're going to have to get 16 1.5 inch squares out of that strip, which is not a problem, should not be a problem. The medium gray circle and the medium gray, you'll see from your kit, you'll understand the 2 differences. The medium gray circle is 6.5 by 1.5, so of course, 2 strips at 1.5, and each of those gets cut into a 6.5 inch rectangle. The medium gray, you're just going to cut the whole strip 3.5 inches wide and leave it. It's approximately 12 inches. It doesn't, a little under, a little over is perfectly fine. Oops. So 12 inches on the 3.5 wide. And then the last one is the darkish black. That is going in my center of my triangle in the squares. So the first thing we're going to do on the black is cut a nice long strip. It's 3.5 high or wide, and by the length of the fabric is fine. And again, it's approximately 14 inches. You don't have to worry too much that it's shorter or longer. It's fine. You won't even need 14 inches there. And then the last strip is 3.5, and you're going to cut 4 3.5 inch squares. Okay, so let's look at the tools that we're going to be using today. We haven't done the Tri-Rex tool in I'm thinking maybe 2 years. I'm not sure if we did it last year or not. The Tri-Rex is from Darlene Zimmerman, and it's by Easy Quilting. And it is a 2 ruler or 2 template set. One is called the tri-tool, very important that you understand which is which, and you get the Rex tool. This creates the rectangles that are used to finish up the triangle in a square. You can make triangle and squares anywhere from 1 inch finished all the way to 6 inch finished blocks. And our blocks for October will be finished at 3 inches. So we're going to cut our strips 3.5, and that's what I gave you in the cutting instruction. Again, the other tool that we're going to be using is the folded corner clipper. And the folded corner clipper is going to be used in our snowball. And what we're going to do is take those little 1.5 inch light background pieces and trim off the edge, and on all 4 corners of our black 3.5 inch squares. And we're going to make snowballs out of those. And the rest is pretty easy. One other thing I'd like to mention is on the back of the Easy Quilting Tri-Rex tool, I've put a little film. It's called Invisi-Grip, from OmniGrid. And it really helps hold your fabric in place while you're cutting. And it won't slip as much. I know the Creative Grids always have those great grippers to them. These rulers do not have anything, so if you find that they are sliding on you, go ahead and put on the Invisi-Grip. That's optional, but it's always a good thing to have. All right? I kept whipping it around. All right? And you just put your ruler right down on the Invisi-Grip and cut right around the ruler, and it's like a cling form, and it just clings to the back of your ruler. Okay, so we've cut all our pieces today. The first thing I want to go over really quick is the folded corner clippers. So we're going to take our 3.5 inch square, and we're going to start by putting right sides together, our little 1.5 inch in each of these corners. So we're going to find the 1.5 inch mark on our folded corner clipper tool, and it's going to line up with the side, the top, and this little corner right here inside my square. And when I trim this, all I need to do is trim this and then bring it right over to the sewing machine and sew from this corner 1/4 of an inch and come out this corner. And that's what I've done with pretty much all of these. I've done each corner except for the last one to show you. So it goes in this corner and comes right out that corner. So when we flip this, when we press this, it's going to again be a 3.5 inch square. All right, so let me do one for you here. So I have one done. I'm just going to put this in here and I'm just going to sew it real quick. So I did all four, one corner on each of the 4 pieces, and I just kind of went around and did the next corner on all 4 pieces and then the next corner. All right, so we're going to take this like this and we're going to sew it. Come on over. All right, so when we put this in, we want to make sure we're at our 1/4 of an inch. Over here. And we're going to start with our needle right in the point of that light gray, and it's going to come straight down, and it's going to come right out this side. All right, that's the idea. And right out that corner. All right, good. So now you would get the next piece and do the last corner on all the other 3 pieces that are there. And then simply just go ahead and press these outwards. So I got this one. I'm just going to give that a little press. Give this one a press. Okay. All right, so we've made our snowball unit, and we're going to make 4 of those. Those go in the corners. Okay. All right, so the triangle in a square. Pretty simple, another unit that's easy to do. We're going to take our medium 3.5 inch strip. This is the medium solid, this would be the medium circle, so it's the 3.5. And for this one, because it's the Rex tool, we need opposite angles on it. So we are going to fold it in half and get the top and bottom lined up. And we're going to place our Rex tool right on the bottom of this ruler. So here's my 3.5. It's going right along the bottom edge of my strip. This is going to be cut away. I'll go ahead and cut my first angle, and then don't forget right here there's like a little notch at the very top of my rectangle. All right, so this one I'm actually going to cut 1, 2, 3 sides. Get my notch. All right, and then the other one. Okay, so what we have left is this rectangle, and it has opposites. Okay, so then we're just going to go ahead and keep going. We need 4 of these, so we're going to place the ruler 180 degrees. We're going to flip it around. Now it lays along the side I just cut. Along the bottom edge is the top of the ruler, and the 3.5 line is at the bottom. We're going to cut this one, and don't forget this little notch. This little notch is very important, okay? This tiny little piece right there. And again, I have a lefty and a righty. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut the triangles, and I'll show you how to sew them together. So the triangles are being made from the 3.5 inch. It's called dark black. It's a little bit of a gray, a little bit of a black. I wasn't exactly sure what to call it, so we're going to call it the gray black. All right, so this one you don't have to fold, but it does have a flat side up at the top of the tri-tool itself, and that flat part goes right along the top edge of your strip. I know it's upside down for you guys, but here's my first angle, and I want to move my triangle over so I don't waste too much fabric. There's plenty, but you know, just in case. So hold that in place. This is scrap, and this is my first try. Turn your ruler around 180 degrees, and again, we're going to line up the blunt edge with the edge of our strip and the 3.5 with the edge of the bottom of the strip, and go ahead and cut again. So we need 4 of these, so we're just going to keep turning and keep cutting. So you see we have plenty of fabric in our kit for that. All right, so now let's put these together. The blunt side of the triangle goes along the top or the widest parts of our rectangles. Okay, so this blunt part is going along the top of our triangle. It's upside down again for you, sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the right hand side and put them right sides together. That little notch that we cut out is going to go right along the bottom of my triangle. So I'm going to scooch that down so that notch is right at the bottom of the triangle, and this is lined up straight. Now it will overhang a little bit over here, and that's perfectly fine. That's what you want to see. All right, so we're going to go ahead and sew 1/4 inch, and it's literally going to come right out this, you know, this point right here. All right, and then we're going to press it. So let's sew that. Get that 1/4 inch. Okay, if it starts shifting on you, just give it a little scooch. Make sure you have both edges right on top of each other, and give it a nice 1/4 inch. Okay, so it should be coming right out that point. Very good. All right, and then we're going to press this toward the rectangle. Again, this is still the top of my triangle. It's still the blunt side, and we'll go ahead and press that before we add the left rec. Okay. All right, so here's my piece. I'll go ahead and I now have the left side. It's still the same. I have my little notch here, and when I flip this over, the notch goes right along the bottom of my triangle, along the edge, and this lines up with the triangle I just did up at the top. So I'm going to start sewing at this point, and it's going to come out this valley right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Nice even 1/4 inch. Now if it moves, just go ahead and scooch. Oops, get my thread out of the way. Okay. All right, so down, nice 1/4 inch. And again, if this moves up at the end, you can just tug it a little bit so that it overlaps the already existing dog ear that's there. Okay. And it's going to come right out the little vent right there. Oops. Okay. And again, one more time, we're going to press this out toward the rectangle. And just hold on to it for a couple seconds. Just make sure it holds. And there we go. You don't need to trim the dog ear. You can if you want. This is now a 3.5 inch square, finishing at 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to turn them and sew them into a 4 patch for our center. So again, the top to the right, the top to the bottom, and the top to the left. So we're going to sew this center by sewing these two together and these two, pressing them in opposite directions. And then we'll go ahead and join our center and sew across the middle. So easy enough. The only last thing to do are the sides, and we're literally just going to add 2 of our 1.5 by 6.5 lights to either side of our medium gray circle, which is also a 6.5 by 1.5. So this unit right now measures 3.5 by 6.5. So when we get that sewn, we'll go ahead and put our 2 sides on, and then we'll start assembling our block. Alright, so we're going to put our snowball to our side unit, to another snowball, and create a 9 patch. Alright, so that's our block for October. Bring in your finished September block beginning Friday, October 8th after 10 a.m. to receive your October kit free. And we will have selected Finish the Bolts. Those are 50% off this Friday and Saturday, October 8th and 9th. And a couple classes we have coming up, Be a Serger Show Off. It's a $25 class. You're going to be using the Bernina Serger. It's a 9mm stitch width, 1,500 stitches per minute, and it's also got that great one-step air threading. And the location here in Southington is going to be Tuesday, the 19th of October, 12 to 3. And then the last class I do want to mention just got on the schedule. Jerry is doing a welcome home wall hanging, and I'll just hold it up for Heidi. So this is going to be held on Thursdays, December 9th from 10 to 1, and or 5:30 to 8:30. And the second class is also on a Thursday, January 13th. Again, either 10 to 1 or 5:30 to 8:30. You start with the February center, and you're making the sign, and then we have these optional open sews to make the other 11 months. And it's literally just a snap, and you can replace that every month to decorate your walls. All right? So thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.